in Iran. And then if that wasn't enough, number 7, the U.S. must terminate all types of sanctions against Iran, so we're paying them $300 billion and taking off all sanctions. This is the most one-sided deal ever. Okay, you're being a little deceptive by reading step 6 and 7 and pretending that step number 8 doesn't exist, which is Iran saying they will never have a nuke and they must come to an agreement with us to dispose of its stockpile of enriched uranium. Even this part seems to be written by the Iranians. The two parties must also agree to discuss the issue of enrichment and other mutually agreed matters relating to the Islamic Republic of Iran's nuclear needs. So now we're going to fulfill Iran's nuclear needs? You're twisting. Let me translate this. In the next 60 days, Iran must agree to verifiably dispose of their nuclear stockpile and enrichment capabilities. Maybe then can we discuss options for them to have civilian nuclear material, but only after a verified agreement on nuclear do they then get sanctions relieved. And only then do they make the nuclear concessions, and if Iran agrees to a broader deal in 60 days, do they get the $300 billion, which will come in the form of willing private sector investments from the Gulf countries. Again, that only happens if Iran is verifiably nuke-free. So Trump went from fighting for investments in America to investments in Iran. Got it. Well, you criticized him either way. And then number 9 just says until a final deal, the status quo around nuclear and sanctions must remain. Well, not all sanctions, because number 10 says immediately. So even before a final deal, the U.S. will issue waivers for the exports of Iranian oil. So they give up nothing for their sanctioned oil to be back on the free market. And then 11, we must also immediately make frozen or restricted Iranian funds and assets fully available for use. And then 12 just creates a mechanism to monitor compliance. But then 13 says before the final deal negotiations start, first the ceasefire, the blockade removal, the Strait of Hormuz opening, the Iranian oil waiver, and the asset release provisions must happen first. So they get to sell their oil and get assets released even before negotiations? Why is it so one-sided? Why are our big commitments before negotiations, but theirs aren't? Well, they have to immediately open up the Strait of Hormuz, and this agreement fails to recognize that we destroyed Iran's conventional military. This has the backing of our European and Gulf allies. Trump is making the tough decision to end a war and move to diplomacy. What do you want, more war? I'm just saying, this agreement does not look like we won. Let's wait till the final agreement. We'll see if we get there.
And yeah, let's see if we get there. And all right, guys, we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to go ahead and get right into it because, man, this has been pure comedy. Like, I'm going to try not to make this an I told you so stream, but I told you so that, yo, low-key, we're capitulating on a whole lot of crap right now. And the funny thing about this is Trump is damn near about to sound like how I've been sounding the past couple of months. So check it out, guys. So we're going to start with Trump. Then we're going to start with JD because it's pretty interesting, the tone, the 180 that's been taken by Trump.
About a 50-50 guess. Mohammed something. They can tell the name. They can give you a serial number. We can see things you wouldn't believe the quality of the stuff that we have. That's why we've been so successful. That's why our blockade will go down in the annals of history as being unbelievable. Nobody's ever seen a blockade like that. It's like a steel wall.
And the problem is they're betting on you being ignorant and not knowing that Iran can, still get to China through Pakistan and still get to Russia through the Caspian Sea. So no, the blockade wasn't doing anything, or else we wouldn't be, capitulating like this. We'd pretty much just be waiting it out until Iran could, their entire economy was supposed to collapse, pipes were supposed to burst. They're supposed to be begging for, a ceasefire, guys. It kind of looks like we are.
So what happened is we then terminated that, and I call it the nuclear dust, and that was the end of that. But if we didn't hit that with the B-2 bombers, or if it wasn't successful, they would have had a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb at a very high level, not the highest, but it would have been a very high level. We have much bigger, but we hope that we're never going to have to use it. We have the most. Russia has second. China is very far behind, but going to catch up, unfortunately. They're catching up, but we have the most. We have the most powerful, but we also have the most. But Russia's not far behind. And then you have China in third place, but within 5 years, they'll be probably even. And we ought to make a denuclearization deal. It'd be so great. We don't need all of that. We don't need to be able to blow up the whole world 300 times over. It's terrible. Really, if we could do a denuke deal, I'd love it. And one of those two is very willing to do it, I will tell you. The other one is less willing to do it. And you need all of them. So the deal we reached with Iran on Sunday will be signed shortly. Tomorrow, maybe the next day. Subject deals. My whole life is all about deals. That's all I ever did is make deals. And crazy things happen with deals. I've gone into deals where it's a guarantee. No way it can not be signed. and it doesn't get signed. And I've got
Yes, I know, but usually didn't have to depend on third parties, not acting out or lashing out, or you don't really have to depend on a third party to contain their bloodlust for Lebanese blood. I'm sorry, but it is a pretty sticky situation we are in with Israel. And guess what, guys? Israel pretty much threatened a ceasefire or the peace deal again because they couldn't help themselves. And yes, they did went ahead and attack Lebanon, and of course, Iran is pretty much saying that they're not even about to pull up anymore because Israel's still continuing its actions in Lebanon. Military actions, by the way.
into deals that you have no chance of making, and they go like nothing. So,
Shit, guys.
but we're going to most likely sign a deal. They want to sign a deal, and they've been acting very appropriately. They took a big 2 hits last week. Those were 2 very big hits. So, importantly, Iran has agreed that they will neither produce nor procure a nuclear weapon. Neither produce, because originally they said they talk about that they will not develop a nuclear weapon. And some people found it okay. These guys didn't, in all fairness, but some people, but I didn't like it. Said it won't develop. I said, what happens if they should buy? I don't know. It's very dangerous for somebody to sell, because whoever sells them a nuclear weapon will get nuked themselves. If they sold a nuclear weapon, only a few that could do it, they would be nuked. They wouldn't have that country long. So it's a very dangerous thing for somebody.
So I guess we're just tightening the screws now. So now we're pretty much saying, so Iran won't make, produce, or purchase a nuke. All things that they've already stated that they would never do, by the way. Just let you guys know this.
Do, but I wanted it in there. So it's develop, procure, buy, anything. And you'll see that when you see the agreement, but it's appropriate that we release the agreement. And we did send a copy to Israel, by the way. They've been a good partner. Again, I think they could do better with respect to Hezbollah.
Yeah, they sure can.
I'm not saying they shouldn't protect themselves. I'm saying when 2 drones are shot into the desert and dropped.
No, I'm gonna be real with you. Look, nobody's debating if Israel has a right to protect themselves. That they don't have a right to start shit in the Middle East. And that's exactly what they did with Hezbollah. It's like they attacked them first. Hezbollah is only responding to Israel's aggression. Actually, that's how Hezbollah even started, because of Israeli aggression. So it's kind of funny how they're over here trying to play victim when there's the one who popped it off with Hezbollah under the fog of war while we were going at it with Iran.
Harmlessly, you don't have to knock down buildings in Beirut. They could behave better. And frankly, they could do a better job. I love them as a partner. They were terrific, but they could do a much better job with Hezbollah. On that, I don't think they're doing well. And I feel very bad for Lebanon. Lebanon's been, it was a great culture. They had the professors, the doctors, the lawyers. It was an incredible.
And before he continue explaining, guys, like I said, to take out 10 Hezbollah officers or leader or guys in leadership that Hezbollah quickly replaces, by the way, they take out hundreds of civilians. So yes, 10 guys, they take out hundreds of civilians for. If they want just one guy who's a top Hezbollah leader, they will take out an entire neighborhood, entire village. They don't give a damn. That's the problem with Israel's actions in Lebanon. They say it's about Hezbollah, but a whole lot of Lebanese people have been displaced. 1.2 million Lebanese people have been displaced because of Israel's aggression, and they are not Hezbollah.
Culture, maybe the highest in the middle.
It's crazy. Those Lebanese people have been displaced, but Hezbollah is still there, still fighting them on the ground too.
At least for years and years, centuries. And for the last 50, 60 years, they have been just trashed. They have been living in hell. So they'll work closely with us to turn over the so-called enriched material that's very deep in the bowels of the earth, very deep. Nobody can get it. So it's not important that we do it quickly, but we could do it fairly quickly. When we have a chance, we'll do it. But in the meantime, we have cameras on every inch of it. Nobody can do it. And if they do, we'll hit them with Patriots. That's all. And they'll be gone. And they know that. Technical discussions on the removal of all stockpiles of enriched materials will begin immediately. We're going to start that immediately. And unlike Barack Hussein.
After the 60 days, but here's what's going to happen before we put a finger on any of the rich uranium. we've already provided temporary sanction relief. We're going to give them $12 billion just to sit down to talks, which we're hoping that they pull up to, because they said that they're not pulling up to it because of Israel's current actions in Lebanon. But if they pull up to it, they get $12 billion. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But as you guys see, yeah, things aren't really working out for the deal already. And I mean, we got Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro over here trying to sabotage the deal, trying to talk bad about it, trying to place it on Vance when Trump is sticking up for the deal himself. So they're pretty much being cowards about it. That's what's killing me too. It's like, no, come at everybody. If you're going to come, don't just come at Vance, come at everybody. Here's the thing. I'm in support of the deal. I don't like it. I do not like it, but I do want this conflict to end.
Obama, who sent Iran pallets of cash, and any relief they receive under this deal, they'll have to get.
Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen and liking the video, or smashing that like button, depending on how you're watching.
Based on merit. And it won't be from us. We don't have to give them anything. But some people may want to invest. Like, what are you going to do? Say you can never, ever invest in a country? I mean, it's pretty tough. I don't mind being tough, but it's pretty crazy. You can invest in a country. You can invest in any country you want, but you can't invest there. Well, they need investment because we did $1.5 trillion, maybe $2 trillion worth of damage. So somebody's going to have to help them out. There's no guarantee about helping them out, and could be their neighbors will.
So yeah, and he's talking about the $300 billion in economic, restabilization and reconstruction. So restabilization. But here's the thing about that. It's not really going to be given by us. It's going to be given by, the Gulf countries. So, I mean, a whole lot of them. Even Egypt is throwing in, not just Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and the rest of them. No, even Egypt and Jordan is throwing in on this fund to help Iran rebuild and all that good stuff. They're pretty much trying to rebuild Iran's economy and, of course, help them out with reconstruction. And then, of course, we're over here helping them out by lifting sanctions on their oil and petrochemicals. So that's a lot of potential earnings they got going on. There's like, what you guys are too focused on is like the numbers of, 300 billion or 12 billion. Bro, he released the sanctions. Let's talk about potential earnings here.
Help them out a little bit. I don't know, but it's a lot of money. Almost nobody has that kind of money. That's the kind of damage that was done. But we're not investing any money. There was a fake story. There was a fake.
What's going on, guys?
News story that got a good person. JD made a statement. It was a perfect statement, and they reported it in a very strange way. But that's why it's fake news, I guess. So we don't give them money. We don't give them any of that. And what happens is, with time, if they behave, if they be
no, honestly, we don't give them no money, because like I said, the $300 billion, that's going to be administered by the Gulf countries. The $12 billion in sanctuary relief, that was already their money that we just kind of snatched from them. So we're not giving them anything, honestly. We're just giving them a shot on the global stage, if anything, and rebuild their economy. And let's see what they do with that.
A citizen of the world, a reasonable citizen of the world. And I think this group, again, I didn't do this for regime change, but I think this group is regime change. I mean, hey, the first group is dead. One little morning, having breakfast, the whole group, they thought they'd never be caught.
Hey, because
we never bombed during breakfast, but we bombed.
Hey, shout out to my man Jordan for starting us off right. Appreciate the support, my brother. He said, hope all is well set. Well, man, it's been better, but I can't complain, though. I'm alive. I'm doing well with myself. But, family and all that good stuff. But, hey, guys, well, a quick little shout out here. Make sure you guys check up on your family and all this good stuff. Make sure you always check up on their health. I'm going through a little bit of stuff when it comes to my family. And it ain't nothing serious. I ain't beefing with nobody. But like I said, it's health-wise. And no, my health is great. I'm talking about a family member. So make sure you check up on your fam. And if they got good health, make sure you thank God that they got that. But all right, though, let's keep it moving, guys. Enough sentimental stuff. We got to get back to the show.
And they all, 88 people. And I'm not proud of that at all. But the second group came in and they were very unreasonable too. And they were all gone. They were all gone. And then the third group, we've been dealing with them. Couple left this planet, but we've been dealing with them. And
hold on, and I do got to give you a shout out, bro. Hold on. Come on, you can't say that ain't make you laugh. But all right, though. All right. Let's get right back to it.
And they've been fine. I mean, I've had a lot easier. I've had some easier ones. They're tough. They're smart. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz is already.
Bro, no, King, and you know what was so sick, guys? Maybe it's just my personality, but I do find a way to make light of things. But the fact that Donald Trump is literally gonna sound like exactly how I've been sounding for the past 3 months. The fact that he just came out here and is about to hand me the biggest "I told you so" make things just a little bit better. I am not gonna lie. It low-key made me feel way better. I was like, well, damn, I didn't know bro was out here throwing W's out like this. All this stuff we was telling you guys, all this stuff we were preaching, not really preaching, but just informing you guys on, it's all coming to light. We told you there was going to be capitulations. We told you that what was happening on the battlefield, that what Pete Hegseth and Trump was trying to sell to you wasn't the reality. And here we are, bro. And now you guys are over here looking shocked, but I'm not. And if you guys been listening to me, you're not either. Even if you listen to me with disagreement, you know what's up. I've been telling you what was going to happen. And here it is, guys. Here it is. Slight capitulation. It's not like I said, we're not really giving them anything, but we are providing huge sanction relief, giving them back their money, giving them a chance on the global stage. And of course, we're allowing the Gulf countries to pretty much rebuild the country and rebuild their economy. What do you think that's going to do for the region now? Like, bro, welcome to the fourth, bro, like Iran, like welcome to being the fourth world power. It's big Iran in the chat now, guys. We got to change our tone.
Already increased very substantially, and the normal flow of energy will resume in the coming days, and trillions of dollars will be made by the world, and the stock market will, I believe, continue to rise. The only difference is that a player that's very volatile, very tough, very smart, frankly, they have in one way a primitive culture, but it's also a genius primitive culture. They're very smart people, very good negotiators, but so are we. So rather than possibly going into a depression, rather than having your favorite president be Herbert Hoover.
Hey, thank you. He's calling it out. Like I was saying as well, if this war keeps going, the economy will sink. We were running out of oil reserves, guys. So if we was about to once oil reserves hit rock bottom, guys, you were about to see the craziest spike in gas ever. Like we literally went from $3 to probably like $6-7, unleaded, by the way. And also, so crazy. Shout out to China. So China pretty much reduced their imports of oil by 40% just to ease down prices. Why? Because even they understood that, we go ahead and take in oil too. We add more demand. It's just going to further up the price. So shout out to China. They actually helped bring down prices for the globe. I never thought I'd be saying this, but W China.
I was always the one I didn't want to be. I wouldn't have preferred Nixon. I wouldn't have preferred, there were plenty I wouldn't prefer, but the one I always thought of, Herbert Hoover, and he caused it. He raised taxes too fast and he raised interest rates too fast, all at the same time. And it caused the Great Depression. Yeah. So I don't think I'll make mistakes like that. I lower taxes.
There were other things. There were other elements to the Great Depression. It just wasn't that. I'll tell you that right now. There are definitely other triggers that caused the Great Depression. But here's the problem, though. Trump was definitely going to head towards that territory once the oil reserves went out. And God forbid, we escalated things with Iran and they just start taking out energy infrastructures throughout the Middle East. Oh, then it'd be really no turning back. It'd just be cooked. The whole Middle East would be cooked. Water desalination centers done. All business in the Middle East done. Dollar evaporated. Like, bro, it's over. It literally been over. So Trump got a good point. And the thing is, he's underselling it. Really underselling it. Because it literally could have been the end of our entire petro dollar system. Why? Because Iran could have took out the entire Middle East if they wanted to.
Don't raise taxes. In fact,
hey guys, I guess they do got restraint. What do you know? What do you know? I guess Iran do got some restraint. Make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, by the way.
Just gave you the largest tax decrease, largest tax cut in the history of our country. So we'll be working on a parallel effort with the Gulf nations to address non-nuclear issues such as the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some. Somebody said you shouldn't give them one. And I have guys. I like some of these guys.
I'm weak.
But I don't think they're smart. Sir, you shouldn't let them have any missile. I said, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to let Saudi Arabia have missiles, but they can't have them? Yes, sir.
I mean, he got a point. He got a really good point. I ain't gonna lie. He's like, so hold on. Saudi Arabia, their enemy can have missiles, but Iran can have missiles. Like, hold on. Israel, their sworn enemy, can have missiles and a nuke, but Iran can't have missiles and a nuke either. Israel can use proxies inside of Iran to try to incite a revolution. But oh, Lord forbid Iran got any proxies? Like, hold on, what are we saying here? Like, can we not like have a double standard right now? Can we get rid of the double standard before we come to Iran about getting rid of anything?
Doesn't work that way, you know. It doesn't work that way. And missiles aren't the problem. They hurt a little location, but they don't blow up the planet. So the Gulf nations will address the non-nuclear issues.
And shout out AJ. I appreciate the support. Sending F4, I think it's like 2 joules. Appreciate the support, sis. And starting us off on the gifts.
We'll be talking about the ballistic missiles, and we'll talk also about the terrorist proxies that they have. That we don't want that to happen.
But yes, guys, we're gonna leave their ballistic missiles alone. Like I told you, like I ain't gonna lie, giving up the ballistic missiles was a non-starter. And this was always holding up negotiations. If we could have just, I'm gonna be real with you guys, we didn't have to get into this war. And this was about to piss you off the most. If we'd have just left off the missiles and the proxies in the first place, we could have took care of their nuclear enrichment, and then we could let Israel handle that. But we could have contained their nuclear enrichment, make sure they weren't going towards a nuke. But we just had to go ahead and include an Israeli interest inside of these deals, which I've been telling you about for honestly 12 months now. Since the Midnight Hammer, since that 12-day war popped off, I was telling you that there's Israeli interest in these negotiations. Like, bro, these missiles, the proxies, that's not a threat to us. It's not an imminent threat to us at all. They can't even reach us. But for some reason, they're holding up what we need to get done when it comes to Iran's nuclear enrichment. I'm glad we're finally separated. I'm not going to lie. This is a great moment. I'm still pissed off at Trump, but I mean, he's finally going in the right direction, I guess, even though he had to get forced into it. But just like with the Epstein files, everything got to be with a hand behind your back. Like, why we always got to put this man's hand behind his back to push him in the right direction? Like, bro, you're supposed to be the leader here. Not, like, what's going on?
I want to thank our partners in both Pakistan and Qatar. These people work so hard. And they knew him a little bit. In the case of Pakistan, quite well. In the case of Qatar, they were sort of at odds. And, you know, Qatar was great because they had right next door. When I flew from that location to Saudi Arabia, I'd fly for 40 minutes, and I'd fly to UAE for 40 minutes. Two great leaders there, by the way. In the case of Saudi Arabia, the father's still alive, and he's fantastic, and the son is going to be great. He's going to be great. The Crown Prince and Mohammed at UAE is an incredible warrior. He was dropping bombs. Last week I said, who the hell's dropping all those bombs? It was UAE. He's a good fighter,
I'm weak.
Mohammed. But every administration for decades has sought to get Iran to relinquish its nuclear ambitions, but the threat only got bigger. The words got bigger and bigger and stronger and bigger, and nothing ever happened.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. In the UAE, of course, surprising enough, as much as the UAE responded, they're one of the main ones that was pushing Trump towards this deal. All the Gulf countries, because one, they're afraid of Iran escalating and destroying their infrastructure. And also, they have no way of protecting themselves. They're like, yo, Iran throwing 20 missiles and getting through. Actually, they're not even throwing missiles at us. They're throwing drones at us, and we're shooting $1 million missiles at them, and they're still getting through, by the way. Like, bro, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine being the Gulf countries? Like, dog, you're throwing $1 million missiles at $20,000 drones, and they're still hitting your ass. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I'd be so hurt. honestly, I understand their frustration in pushing to get this war over with because financially it was not working out for them whatsoever, nor militarily. But it wasn't working out for anybody militarily, like as you see.
And Iran got stronger and tougher. If we didn't blow them up the first time and then blow out those weapons, they would have been unstoppable. This should have done what I'm doing and what I did should have been done years ago. Would have been much easier, much less firepower, but it wasn't. And again, I want to thank all those countries, and I want to thank Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. So obviously the breakthrough would not have been possible without the unprecedented pressure the United States put on the regime over the past year and a half. But again, it started a long time ago. It started with the death of Soleimani. That was a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it was a big deal because you took out the main orchestrator of the axis of resistance. Like, trust me, that was a great move. But the problem was with that great move kind of comes the con of it. And the con was that convinced Iran to push towards 60% enrichment. So, I mean, of course, great move by taking out that leader, Qasem Soleimani, like I said, orchestrator of the axis of resistance, basically orchestrating the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. So great move by taking that guy out. You really effed up their operations with that. But the problem is you convinced Iran to go towards 60% enrichment. I mean, hey, guys, there's pros and cons to every decision.
No president in history has ever been tougher on Iran than I have, and they know that. And by the way, if they don't honor the agreement, or some things aren't even mentioned in the agreement, it's a memorandum of understanding, but we have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it. You know, it's amazing what bombs can do. Sure. So I say it, the Obama deal was a road to a nuclear weapon.
Oh, guys, we got about 90 y'all in here, man. Do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. If you have any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud, engage with it. Just $2 and up in the super chat, Venmo, or PayPal, guys. All right, let's get right back to it.
And let's call it the Trump deal, was a wall for a nuclear weapon that the nuclear weapon could not get through. Nobody's going to get through it. We built a wall. They weren't going to have it, and that's what we have right now. And it says very clearly, the most important clause to me, too, number one, the Strait opens, but that's much less important than the other clause. Clause number whatever, 5, 8, is a very strong statement that they will never have a nuclear weapon. And it doesn't say they'll have one in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. With Obama, they were able to enrich very quickly.
Yeah.
This agreement now provides Iran with a...
I mean, here's the thing, though. They was only enriching at 3.67%. That we were all okay with that. Now we're trying to get back into the same arrangement. Like, bro, Iran's not giving up their right to enrich. We're pretty much just going back to the same thing under the debate, pretty much just like a redo of the JCPOA, except Iran get more benefits this time. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. We're pretty much going back to the status quo when it comes to their enrichment capability and what they're able to do. Like, they're not giving up enrichment altogether, guys. They're just promising us that they'll enrich at a lower level, and they will give up their 6% enriched uranium, which they've always been willing to give up, by the way, without going into war with them. Or, you know, spending trillions of or billions of taxpayer dollars, you know. We could have got this done without war. I just want to let you guys know that. This is one of the reasons why I'm extremely pissed off at Trump for this, even though he's going in the right direction now.
Historic opportunity. If they follow the path of cooperation, will have opened for them. Their country will have a chance to survive. Now think of it. You know, they have 91 million people. People want me to bomb the bridges. Why don't I bomb? I already did. Because, you know, they went back on one of their promises and I bombed their biggest bridge, the equivalent of that was the George Washington Bridge of Iran.
I'll be real with you, like, all right, somebody said, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. The goal of Iran was to make a nuclear bomb the whole time. Like, bro, if that was the case, dog, they had 6% enrichment since 2021 and they haven't progressed past that. So why haven't they, you know, went to 80, go to 90? Like, why haven't they done that for the past 5 years? And guys, bro, that was under Biden. Like, do you understand that, bro? While Biden was focusing on Russia and all this good stuff, they definitely could have been progressing towards a nuke, but they didn't. So, guys, if they wanted to make a nuke, they could have had one a long time ago. Let's just be real about that one. And I mean, I guess it's thanks to the old Ayatollah that put down the fatwa saying that it's a sin against God. But now I guess Trump is pretty much using it as a, well, don't worry. Now they're saying that they won't, make a nuke. And then, guys, guess what? That was always their position, that they were not going to make a nuke. Always their position. And like I said, the 6% enrichment was only there because of our aggression towards them. Like I said, once you put out the JCPOA, put the sanctions back on, labeled the IRGC a terrorist group, and then, of course, killing General Qasem Soleimani, that convinced Iran that they might need to go ahead and get to that 6% and then maybe an edge towards a nuke. Pretty much telling the United States, like, look, we got the 6% here. If you don't attack us, we won't build a nuke. We just don't attack us. And you got it. But, that's only if you attack us. And if you don't, then guess what? You don't ever got to worry about this threat. And would be willing to give it away in negotiations. But we chose to try to attack them over it, and look what happened. Look what happened. I mean, did we get any good results? You tell me. I'll tell you right now.
We bombed that bridge. You saw that? One quick strike by an F-22, the most beautiful fighter jet ever made, by the way. In fact, we're ordering some more of them. We're bringing it out because it's so effective. It's incredible. It's incredible. Well, look, we have the greatest military in the world. Those B-2 bombers are unbelievable. Who would have thought they could handle? Each had two because the flight was so long, but they handled three of the biggest, heaviest.
Bro, talk about why you want religious radicals to have nuclear weapons. Because you already got some religious radicals that got nuclear weapons. They're in Israel, bro. Like, what do you mean? We already got religious radicals with nuclear weapons already, bro. Shoot, we already got a guy with the craziest, narcissistic complex ever. Like, the man literally thinks he's a walking deity, and he got nuclear weapons, okay? Israel, that literally wants to take other people's land, have nuclear weapons. Like, I'm sorry. And trust me, they're religiously zealots as well, by the way. So I'm sorry, but it's already too late. If you're talking about why do you want religious zealots to have nuclear weapons, it's too late, bro. They're like, a bunch of them already got it. And here's the crazy part about it. Not that I want them to have it. I'm just understanding what's going on the global stage, because apparently the president's already been set that if you don't got nuclear weapons, you get bullied by countries who do, and you will never be really a sovereign nation unless you do have nuclear weapons. So even if you want to use them or not, you need to have nukes to be a sovereign nation. This is the president that we set. Sorry, that's the reality now.
Bombs hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they handle them like they're nothing. It's amazing. And also, they're undetectable. They flew into Iran, totally, think of it, totally undetected. Now, Iran's waiting for them. They're waiting for them. And they never saw them. 1 o'clock in the morning, they never saw them. They're stealth. And we just ordered 22 more. The newer, upgraded version, which I guess is better. I don't know how the hell you get better. But as I expressed to the world leaders here this week, it's my hope that the peace agreement will be the beginning of a much larger deal all across the Middle East. We're very close. Look at the job we've done on Gaza. Look at Hamas. Hamas has been very silent. You haven't read anything about Hamas. And we're trying to get them.
I know, because Israel's still busy bombing them. And of course, that ceasefire is holding on to a thread. But let's be real, though. It's easier to contain Hamas than Hezbollah. And I'm be real with you guys. The reason why Hamas is really complaining, because all of the IDF has been focusing on, Lebanon. Remember, they're doing airstrikes in Lebanon, and they're doing a ground invasion. Yes, they put boots on the ground in Lebanon. So yeah, they're pretty much preoccupied. That's why Hamas has kind of been getting a breather. And I mean, what can they do? Gaza's been destroyed completely, like 70% of it gone.
Unarmed, they grew up with a machine gun in their hand. I think they actually, when they were born, they came out with a machine gun in their hand. So it's not the easiest thing, but they've actually behaved pretty well, considering this was not the lifestyle that they were taught to have.
Guys, make sure to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen and liking the video. Appreciate the support, guys. Oh, and if you're watching horizontally, just smash the like button.
But including an end to all Iranian aggression, and they're not going to be Iranian aggression, and an end to war and terror in Lebanon. So the Lebanon piece is something we'll have to work on a little bit. It's a very small piece of the puzzle, actually, but it still makes a lot of noise. The big deal is the Iran deal. That's where the money is, where the power was. But they have Hezbollah, and you got to get that done one way or the other. We'll do it. I think Israel can do a much better job on it. Syria would love to do it. I was very responsible for the gentleman at Syria that's now the president of Syria. He's done a tremendous job. He's put that country together in a year and a half. Sort of like our country, a year and a half. It's pretty similar size. They said, please don't put him there. He's a very violent man. Al-Qaeda. I said, well, I know one thing, a Boy Scout's not going to work. And
Bro, we can't sit in there and call him the biggest sponsor of terrorists while talking about, like, watch out, Iran. We're going to start sending terrorists at you. Yeah, we're going to send the Balan head choppers at you. And then talk about how you're the biggest sponsor of terrorism. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. When we literally put Al-Qaeda in charge of Syria. But, I mean, hey, if you take the U.S. out of the equation and off the list, then I guess Iran would be the biggest state sponsor of terrorism, as long as you take us off the list.
he's actually done a very good job. He'd love to go in. And, Hezbollah is an enemy of his, and he'd go in, but he wouldn't knock down buildings every time he hears there's somebody. He'd just go and get them with precision. But I don't know that people want that. Maybe they don't. Maybe Lebanon doesn't. We have to be guided a little bit by Lebanon. And by the way, the president is going to be coming, Prime Minister, President, going to be coming over to see us very shortly, over the next week or two. Good man. Man is living. What a tough life he's got, because he's got tough groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
He got a militant group called Hezbollah that he can't control. And then here's the problem. He got the people literally turning against them because they're getting bombed and the Lebanese army's not doing anything and Hezbollah is doing something. And that's a problem. It seems like the Lebanon, the government kind of wants to get taken over by Israel, but not the people. So this is where Hezbollah kind of arose out of. And here's a crazy part. Hezbollah is more formidable than the Lebanese army. That's just the fact of the matter. And this is why when they try to get Hezbollah to disarm, it's damn near impossible, because it's like, dog, I mean, they could take this country if they want to, but they don't. And that's the weird thing about Hezbollah. Like we're talking about like they're a bunch of Shia. Most of them are Shia Muslims, very small Christian majority. And they could take that entire country if they wanted to, and the people would probably support them doing so, sadly. And we're talking about the guy who's in there now. He's a Christian, and he has not done anything for his people whatsoever. While the Israelis bombed them, has not done anything.
Amazing there is a Lebanon with all they've been through. They have been treated worse than just about, I think, anybody. Disrespected incredibly.
No, it's really crazy. It's like, hold on. So you telling me the radical Muslims out of Tehran is providing more protection to the Lebanese people than their Christian president? I swear to God, you're wondering what type of world we living in, but this is the reality of it. Like, that's really the reality of Lebanon right now.
So the expansion of the Abraham Accords is the other thing that we hope we're going to get. And I think Saudi Arabia, if they lead the way, they'd be doing themselves a big favor, because everybody that's in it, UAE went in right from the beginning. Again, he's a warrior. And they never got out. Nobody ever got out. You think maybe during the war, they were all everybody was afraid of Iran.